good morning. I just did a quick little 10 pages to start off my day. If you watched my last vlog where I was camping, I decided to print out 40 pages of draft 7 so that I could continue working on editing my book while I was on a camping trip, because I don't consider this work. This is not something that I need a break from. Like, this is so much fun to me that I wanted to take it with me. And I ended up printing out 40 pages. I got from page 61 to page 87 when I was camping, and then I just did pages 88 to 99 just now. And so I have these 40 pages covered in orange ink that need to be entered into my draft 7 document in my computer, which hopefully I will get around to a little bit later today. So I got back from my camping trip yesterday. I leave for Las Vegas tomorrow, so I might have to print out some more pages to bring with me to Vegas because I really enjoy the more meditative editing of working with pen and paper. So I might have to keep this going a little bit. So I've been working on entering the edits that I made while I was camping and earlier today, and I just got below 120,000 words. It feels so good that that second number is no longer a 2. That means I still have about 10,000 more words at least that I would like to cut out of this draft. But we are moving in the right direction, and the end, again, is in sight. Things are feeling really good. I'm just gonna keep going. Well, I'm gonna keep going later today. Right now, I'm gonna go to the gym. It's now 5:20. It is a beautiful day outside, so I might have to go sit outside later. I've just been doing like miscellaneous things that need to be done between the Moab trip and the trip that I leave for tomorrow, which I'm still living in denial of because I've not started packing yet and likely won't until like later tonight. And I think my flight is early for me tomorrow. So we are just gonna see what happens with that. I know I need to pack. I don't want to because I haven't even unpacked from my camping trip, which is also something I have to do, and I still need to bring stuff in from my car. So anyways, gonna continue living in denial of that, and we're gonna keep on entering in the edits that I made to these printed out pages that I brought with me camping. That is all of the 40 pages that I took camping / finished earlier today, typed up, and I changed those things in my document. I'm now sitting at 119,064 words. And I really wish I would have written down where my word count was before these 40 pages, because my goal with draft 7 is to try and cut out roughly 1,000 words per 40 pages, because with my document being like 460-ish pages, that's what the math worked out to be like. But I'm pretty much on track, I feel. When I had printed these pages, it had brought me up to page 99, which means that with the stuff that I cut out in here, I ended up cutting out 4 pages in my document total, which makes sense with roughly 1,000 words. And now where this was page 99 is now page 95 after I have made these edits, which is very exciting. It's now 6:30. I worked on that for like an hour and 10 minutes without stopping and felt really good. The sunlight is really starting to get to me. I feel like I need to be out in it, but I loved editing this by hand, and so I might go print out some more pages to work on outside. Okay, so I printed more pages and something weird happened with the page numbers. I have the 97, 98 is on the other side, I have the 99, and then we have 10, 10, 10, 11, 11, 11, 12, 12, 12, 13, 13, 13, 13, and then I think we get a 14 eventually. There is a little dot on this one that makes me feel like maybe the second number was cut off and that this is like 105 or something, but I guess I will not be relying on page numbers for entering this into my computer. It's now the next day. I did not work on any more of the pages after I came in from outside. I was able to do about 17 pages by hand yesterday, as well as typing up all of the notes that I had made on those printed out pages over my camping trip. So now that is caught up, and then I printed out the next couple of chapters, which I think ended up being like 46 or so pages. But now it's 9:12 in the morning, and I have to leave for my flight in like 30 minutes. So once I get to Vegas, I don't really have plans until dinner, and I think I land around 1. So I will have time to work on some stuff, but I also have some Fiverr orders that I need to finish up that I will be working on while I'm in Vegas. I did print out more pages, you guys saw that yesterday, that I will be taking with me into the expo if I'm just like sitting around so that I can work on them. So yeah, today's Monday. Let's get it started. was a whirlwind and I'm now going to check out of the hotel, and then I'm heading to the expo for the rest of the day, and then I fly out at like 7 p.m. And now I'm back in Utah. The last time I talked to you guys was yesterday morning as I was heading to the expo, and then after the expo, I flew home. And now here we are. You know, I brought these pages to work on. I don't want you guys to see them actually, but I believe I printed out 46 pages and I did not get through very many. I got up to page 108. Okay, my hair's like not cooperating with me today. And I don't remember where I was with these pages when I left for Vegas because the printed out portion starts on page 96. So over the last, what is that, 4 days? Yeah, Monday through Thursday, which is when I was in Las Vegas, I only finished probably about 10 pages, which honestly might also be including when I was working outside the night before I left, which was Sunday night. And now it's Friday. And I would really like to pick up my speed with editing. And I did not do very much of this while I was at the expo, and that was partially because I had a Fiverr order I needed to finish. So I was just working on my computer instead because I needed to like be able to look up and talk to people. So it was easy to be working on punctuation in someone's story while I was also staying attentive to people walking up to the booth. Which, if I haven't explained that yet, I have gone with Zunicorn to the licensing expo in Las Vegas 4 times now. One was before COVID, and then I believe it was the last 3 years. I don't work for Zunicorn, but I do during the licensing expo. If you are not familiar with what licensing is like a $300 billion a year industry. It's basically like Disney doesn't make shirts, but Disney does a licensing agreement with a shirt manufacturer to put their images on shirts. So it's the manufacturer and the distributor that takes care of that licensing deal, but they have to license the imagery from Disney. And that's not only for shirts, it's for a lot of things. It always feels like a little bit of a creative reset because it's just like a completely different view on the things that are possible, which then again is coupled with the camping trip that I got back from like 2 days before I left for Las Vegas, which was also just like a detox and like an unplugging from my phone and society, which in and of itself was a creative restart. So I am feeling very good, and I really want to pick up the pace on my editing. So it is now 1:30. I got up at like 8:30 this morning, which was wild, but I spent my morning finishing the Fiverr order and returning that to my client. And now I need to go run errands because I'm back in town for a couple weeks. And then I'm hoping to take these pages to the library. And I would love to get upwards of like 30 or 40 pages done today, which might be the rest of this stack. I just counted and I have 31 more pages left in what I have printed out right now. And that would feel really good to finish today, and I feel really solid with the amount of freelancing I've already done. I do have another project I will probably start later today, but I think that running errands and starting to work on my editing are going to be my next steps for the day. I've been talking for a while, let's go run errands. It's now 5, but I got 20 pages done. So I got up to page 127, which means that I still have some pages in what I had printed out. But I would say that 20 pages for right now is incredibly solid. My apartment gym just reopened. They were doing maintenance, but now it's back open. So I'm gonna go work out even though it is much later than I normally try to go to the gym. I was gonna try and go hiking. I think I probably already said that, but super cloudy outside today. So I'm just gonna go walk on the treadmill for a while. And I'm currently sweating from my walk back. This was definitely way too warm of an option to go to the library. Well, just kidding. My phone's about to die, so I'm gonna plug it in and get some cleaning done, and then maybe have a snack and then go to the gym. Maybe. I'm really trying to get myself to do something athletic today, but it's been kind of difficult. Like, the motivation is there, but I didn't want to go hiking after it got cloudy. I was so set on going hiking when I got back last night, and then I was so set on going to the gym just now until I saw that my phone is on 6%. So I don't know what's going on. My phone is now plugged in. I'm still really enjoying getting to focus on editing a little bit slower. I feel like I'm catching more things. I feel like I'm able to delete more things with this like more meditative approach of editing by hand. And it's also really interesting to notice that I'm changing things, because one of the best pieces of advice that I've received from a published author when I was working at Go Scribbler, which is a subscription box for writers, was that you know when you're done when you're changing things, not actually improving things. And this draft is primarily focusing on phrasing editing and cutting out words, but it's really interesting that I was starting to notice that I was just choosing to change phrasing, whether or not it actually made it better. So I was getting really excited about that. And I was noticing some foreshadowing things that I had forgotten about that I don't think I would have noticed if I wasn't taking the slower approach of editing by hand. And now I need to go clean my kitchen. So I just got back from the gym. I am working on making dinner now. It's like 8 o'clock. It's 7:58. It's a little later than I would prefer to be eating dinner at, but it is what it is. At least I got to go to the gym. I got to do some movement, which was lovely. Definitely needed. While I was at the gym, I started listening to an audiobook because my friend and beta reader, who's currently reading my book, texted me earlier today about a book that might be a good comp for my book. And so I started listening to that book, and it's really good so far. Not willing to share which book it is yet, but very excited about the prospect of that being a comp, because typically when you send a query letter, or if you're going through like Query Manager, from what I've been learning, agents typically want to know what books you would compare your own book to know like how they would pitch it, how those books are doing in the market, how recent those books are. Apparently that's a really big deal, which makes me nervous because all of my current comps are not recent. And so like this book is an exciting prospect for being one of my comp books, because I'd be comfortable with having this book or a more current, maybe a more recent book, like recently published book as a comp, with one that's like from a little bit earlier. But that was kind of exciting. And then I got kind of in my head about how good the book's opening was. And then I just have to remind myself that I had to cut a lot of my like super flowery, really beautiful language for word count reasons. And this audiobook is like 20 hours long. So double the length of my book. And I can tell because of how like flowery the prose is, which is like really fun to listen to. And I just need to accept that my book is probably a little bit faster paced, but it's fun to have a perspective new comp to include my query letter. And I just finished page 141, which means that now this stack of printed out pages has been edited and needs to be entered into my computer. It's like 10:30. I would love to do more pages tonight, but I also need to type up these pages. I'm kind of thinking that I go print out the next set so that I'm ready for editing tomorrow. I know that's probably the best bet. That means I have to change so I can be presentable to go to the printer. Well, I tried. The printer didn't want to turn on, so now I'm wondering if it's only on during business hours, but that wouldn't make sense because I went down at almost midnight the night before I went camping to print. So that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why it wasn't turning on. It was plugged in. So I guess tonight I am just working with what I have, which is the 46-ish pages that I have edited by hand that now need to be typed into my computer. Good morning. In an attempt to get as much editing and writing done today as I possibly can, I'm starting my morning with it. Like I literally just rolled out of bed. I am still working on typing up the pages that I was working on yesterday, or like last night. And I think I was able to type up like 20-ish of the pages, and I think I have another 20-ish to go. But my word count before I started entering those edits in was 119,064 words, and now I'm already down to 118,236 words, which means that in 20 to 25-ish pages, however many it actually was, I was able to cut out like 800 words, which is really helpful. And I also think that the next like 20-ish pages that I still have to enter continue to bring down the word count. And so this might have been like a really good batch of 40 pages for lowering my word count, because I would have pages where I would be crossing out like every third sentence, just because the point of draft 7 is to make sure that everything makes sense and streamlining the document to closer to what the word count is supposed to be for a debut author in the fantasy space. So it's too early to be talking to a camera. Let's continue working on editing. Just finished typing up those edits that I had made in the rest of the printed pages, and in total, out of these 45 pages, I was able to remove 1,324 words, which is really good. and so helpful. Very much moving in the right direction. The story is now at 117,740 words, which means that now I have like 7,740 words left, ish, maybe 8,000 to get me to my goal word count, which is roughly around 110,000. If not like 108, 109, that would be really nice. So I'm getting a lot closer. I'm gonna have to go down and check the printer again at some point today and hope it's working, because it's been so nice working by hand. However, like, it is slower. Like I've said many, many times, it's a lot more meditative, and I feel like I can reread things a lot quicker on. And I feel like I reread things a lot more on the printed pages, but then I also have to then transfer my edits from the printed pages back into the draft 7 document, and that is very time consuming. So I'm not totally sure how I'm going to handle the rest of the edits for today, but that is a very solid start, and I'm happy with that. Okay, well, it looks like I'm going to be editing on my computer today. I just finished up an editing session on my computer, unfortunately, but I just did, I think it was like 2 chapters, but 13 pages, which is solid. And I think I've already taken out like roughly 500 words for those 13 pages, which is also really good. Not feeling too crazy worried about the word count right now, which is, again, I know I keep saying it, feels really good. But again, trying to maximize how many pages I can get done today, because it is a holiday weekend, so I'm going to be busy on Monday, and I have some freelancing and stuff I need to do, so I'm just trying to get as much editing done as I possibly can. So I'm taking a break and going to the gym. Just got back from the gym. Workout was hard. It felt really good, and now I'm gathering my stuff, and I'm gonna go into a dark room, but I'm gathering my stuff to head to the library because I am just trying to get pages done. And so that is what we're gonna do. I'm so zapped from my workout earlier. Like, I was having a hard time thinking while I was at the library, but I just checked at how far I got, and because the page count changes as I'm taking out words inevitably, I had marked for myself where a good stopping point was for the day if I wanted to do like 40 pages. And so I just got home and I just looked at that because I was like, I bet it's still like 10 pages away, and I'm 3 pages away from the end of what I had marked for myself, which was 43 pages, which I was not expecting it to be that close. I'm definitely too hungry to keep working right now, so I just made dinner, but I think I might be able to do more than I had set out to do today, which already felt like a little bit of a stretch goal. So I'm feeling really good about that, but I really need to eat, so that is the priority for right now. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Look at that. That's so bright. I think that's the most I've ever seen purple on a rainbow. Also, this plant is now like half an inch away from touching the ceiling. I thought I had tall ceilings. This bird of paradise is kind of making me think otherwise. Look at him go. I'm so proud. Eating did help. I do feel like I have more energy after I ate, which is good. I did eat after my workout, but it probably wasn't like enough. And now I feel much better after having dinner. I think we're like an hour from sunset, which my watch, of course, doesn't want to tell me, but I think we're an hour from sunset. I kind of want to go outside to watch the sunset, so I might wander outside eventually, but I want to get through these last couple of pages probably before I go outside, so then I've hit my goal that I had set out for myself today, and then any more work I do after that is just bonus. It is now 7:48, and I just got to the point where I had marked 43 technically pages were earlier today. I decided on 43 pages because I'm trying to take out 1,000 words every 40 pages, but 43 pages was the very clean end of a chapter. And over that span of time, / over those 43 pages, I took the word count from 117,740 words down to 116,410 words, which means that I took out 1,330 words, which is really good. I feel very good about that. I feel very good about hitting how many pages I wanted to hit today. And so I'm going to reward myself and go outside, and then might do some more later, but I've hit my goal, which I thought was a stretch goal, and those kinds of goals always feel really good to hit and then pass. So we'll see what happens later. Well, that was lovely. I did want to mention that I'm reading this other book called The Comfort Crisis. Rather, I'm listening to it. I think they're the same thing. But I started it on the way down to my camping trip last week. And one of the things that they mention in that book is that our brains are meant to be in nature. Like, we're meant to see the fractals and the organic shapes in nature. And there's something about seeing straight lines and 90-degree angles that stress our brains out. And I haven't finished the book yet, but it is really good. It's nonfiction, but I like an occasional nonfiction if it's the right kind of nonfiction, and this one I'm really enjoying. So if you can today, I recommend just stepping outside, looking at a tree, watching the clouds, going to a park if you can. Going into the woods would be better, and just getting away from straight lines and 90-degree angles. Because even our phones have 90-degree angles, even our computer screens have 90-degree angles. And I felt like so much calmer sitting outside, looking at the clouds and the mountains in the distance. But now that I'm back inside, I'm gonna go back to staring at my computer screen. It was nice to have a little break. So the next chapter is 17 pages, which, you know, is like half of what I've already done today. And I really like ending at the end of a chapter. Like, it seems to be like a very even breaking point. It's really nice. I know I could stop in the middle, but how sick would that be if I could finish? That would technically be 60 pages today. That sounds really cool. I'm gonna give it a shot. You know what? No, I'm just gonna start on the chapter and I'm gonna see where I get. I did it. 60 pages. And it took me all freaking day. Like, you know, bits and pieces throughout the day, but it's now 11:24 p.m. And I started this morning when I woke up. So it took me all day. For 60 pages, I was right on track because I was able to go down from 117,740 words to 116,155 words, which means that I removed a total of 1,585 words today in the chapters that I was editing on my computer. So that did not include the pages that I was finishing entering this morning, which was also words removed, but I'm not going to technically count that for today. But that was a huge amount of progress. I'm now on, the page number keeps changing as I'm going. So obviously as I'm taking out words, but I just finished the new page 192 out of 441 now, which means that I'm getting really close to the halfway point and I'm feeling very excited about that. So with that huge accomplishment for today, I am making cookies to celebrate. They are currently in the oven. Thank you so much for watching until the very end. I'm too tired to say anything else. I don't remember the rest of my outro, so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.